Views and opinions expressed in this content do not reflect those of 850.
We're here every Sunday at 11 a.m. on 850 WFTL in South Florida, and we are live on YouTube. Thank you for putting us over 1,000 subscribers. We're so excited. And that channel is Condo Craze and HOAs. You can ask us questions there as well. I'm Karen Curtis, and I'm here again with attorney Eric Glazer from Glazer and Sachs, PA. Eric is board certified in community association law, and that would be in condominium and plan development law. He has firm with attorneys in Fort Lauderdale and in Orlando. We're here each week to answer all your calls and emails about the issues that make life in your condominium. Sorry, I've got the YouTube channel. Life in your condominium absolutely crazy from one minute to the next. And we're here each week to answer your calls and also in the chat box. So we'd like to get the phone lines going early, answering all of your questions. So give us a call, 877-850-8585, or visit us again at our YouTube channel. Eric.
All right. Good morning, everybody. God, I'm just trying to wake up after yesterday's devastating basketball day. Oh, my God.
Well, you have both kids.
All
One
right,
graduated FAU.
One graduated FAU, one starting FAU, and I'm a graduate of Miami. Let's just say yesterday was a bad day. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, my
It
gosh.
was just a bad day.
My gosh.
The FAU game, oh, God. Just
That one last shot, I
one
couldn't
of those
believe
games
it.
you'll never forget for the rest of your life. You just wish it went the other way. But, hey, getting back to what you said, Karen, if you're a fan of the show, don't forget to subscribe to two things. Number one, of course, the Condo Craze and HOA's channel on YouTube, where you can watch the show live. And, of course, if you miss a show, you can watch it anytime you would like. And, of course, join our email list by going to condocrazeandhoas.com. By joining each week, you can get announcements about the show, emails, our blogs, our free seminars, our newsletters, updates on the law, and a whole lot more. And we do a blog every single Monday morning at hoa-condoblog.com. Tomorrow's topic, pay up if you want to be or remain on the board. And before we get to that, I just want to thank the Smithsonian Channel for including me in that remarkable documentary called 10 Steps to Disaster, the Surfside Condo Collapse. And for those of you who don't have the channel or didn't get to see it, send me an email, and I will be glad to send you the link. And the incredible graphics alone make it easy to understand why this building collapsed, and it's simply remarkable. VJ, me and you were talking before the show and on the air. What did you think about the graphics? Just wasn't that absolutely incredible?
Yes, it was.
It was amazing. Yeah, it made it. They must have spent, I don't know how much money, hiring somebody who can put these graphics together and explain in simple terms why they believe at least this building fell.
Well, VJ thought it was the way it was designed.
It was the way it was designed, yeah, from the beginning. And of course, there's talk about building officials taking bribes at the time for approving a building that shouldn't have been approved.
If they're still alive, murder is like
no, the
there's
statute
no
of limitations. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
not
you
for
say that,
murder.
not for murder, but go find them. We don't know who it was.
Can
Maybe,
you imagine?
It was. I would think those building officials are probably long gone. But if you didn't see it and want to see it, really incredible. Just give me a ring or send me an email. Eric at condo-laws.com. Again, Eric at condo-laws.com. And I will be glad to send you the link. All right, well, the Florida legislature has about 2 weeks left in their session, and it does seem like one or two condo bills will pass, and we'll let you know if and when they do. But here are two laws that have already passed the session, and trust me, this is something that that you should know. And keep in mind, that the Florida legislature and the governor, they like to blame plaintiffs' attorneys for the cost of almost everything going up in our lives, right? Their thinking is the more lawsuits that happen against companies, the more expensive things become for the average consumer.
Well, there's a lot of frivolous stuff going on, but now it's more risky to sue your insurance.
It sure is, exactly. Now it's become more risky to sue your insurance carrier, not only as a condominium, but as an individual. And here's why, and let me explain. So let's talk about the typical case that condos do routinely. And it's one where a condominium association sues its insurance company, let's say, for failing to pay roof damage because the insurance company doesn't believe that the Category 1 storm caused all that roof damage to the building, right? Okay. So what happens is, typically the association winds up suing at some point. Now, until now, there was no risk for the condominium to sue the insurance company.
Well, but don't attorneys take these cases on a contingency basis?
Yeah.
If they win, then they get paid?
Yes, they do. Well, let me explain. The attorney did take the case on a contingency fee. And if the association won the case, or even if the association settled for $1, the attorney that took that case on a contingency, he was now able to get all the attorney's fees, all his attorney's fees.
It's like
from
Gwyneth
the
Paltrow.
insurance company. She now gets it from the other side.
That's right.
Yeah.
She won $1, but it's going to be millions in attorney's
Correct.
fees.
Well, that's what happened here. That's what always happened here. Even if you settled the insurance company for $1, you got your fees. So it increased the amount of the settlement. Well, guess what happened? That went away. And remember, even under the old way, even if the association lost, the association did not have to pay attorney's fees to the lawyers for the insurance company.
So it only ran one way.
It only ran one way until now.
Oh boy.
So here's how it is now, and if you think about it, because the attorney's fees only ran one way, that's why so many of these cases were being filed even years after a storm. Well, no longer. Now the association has no right. Think about this. The association has no right to collect attorney's fees against their insurer, even if the case is settled or even won. Even if you win the case after a full-blown trial, you do not get attorney's fees against your
So what
insurer.
attorney's going to represent them?
There you go. So now their recovery is going to be a lot less, and insurance companies have less to lose by not settling. They're thinking, okay, we don't settle. Even if you beat us at trial, we don't have to pay your attorney's fees. We'll fight. So now a lot of attorneys who are representing condos have to think about it. Wait a minute. Do I really want this? Do I really want this case?
That's kind of good and bad, though, right?
You look at the Florida legislature's way and the governor's way; they think it's good. Yeah, it's definitely going to dissuade lots of lawyers
But you're an attorney.
from taking these types of cases, and that's the exact intent of the law: prevent insurance companies from getting sued. The theory being that it will eventually result in smaller premiums, right? Smaller insurance premiums to the public. Okay.
Yeah, but then the insurance companies get less money because the premiums are smaller.
Right, but it would result in smaller premiums
For the
paid by
public.
the public.
The
So
voters.
That's the thinking.
Got it.
Okay. Not only was that a big, huge change for associations, but another huge change in the law, and it's probably, how about this? I'll go on record by saying this. Perhaps the biggest change to the law since I'm in practice went into effect last week. And it's the statute of limitations regarding negligence actions went from 4 years to 2 years. And that is a bombshell, an absolute bombshell.
I mean, what is the intent here to limit the number of lawsuits?
Absolutely. Again, to limit the number of lawsuits. And it's designed, primarily intended to go after personal injury lawyers and prevent personal injury cases like car accidents and slip and falls from winding up in the courtroom. I'll tell you, I think even I can agree that the amount of lawyer advertising for personal injury cases is now beyond annoying. And I, for one, think it's gotten to the point where the public is actually sick of it. I really do believe that the public is sick of it. And in many ways, it cheapens the profession. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And
Ambulance chasers get their name.
Yeah,
But, a lot of people almost make it a business. That's how they make their money is with these lawsuits.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
They know how to work the system.
They sure do.
It's
But
scary.
I do know that it bothers me
Yeah.
when you see a commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial, and it just never ends. And you got to be thinking, if I don't like it, I'm sitting there thinking, my God, what does the public think about all this? And they got to be sick of it.
Yeah. How
But-
does it affect condos and HOAs?
Well, let's talk about this. That's That's not why this law was passed, though, just to prevent lawyer advertising. It was passed, again, to protect insurance companies, the thinking being that there will be less lawsuits, and those savings will ultimately, again, trickle down to consumers in the form of cheaper premiums. That's the thought process here. How does it affect condos and HOAs? All right, let's think about this. From a condominium and HOA perspective, that change in the law will have major effects. For example, all claims for damages to condo or HOA property caused by someone else now have to be filed in 2 years and not 4. That could be damage caused by contractors to the association property. It could be unit owners who live in rent on the property that cause damage. And again, it also means that people who slip and fall on the condo property, their statute of limitations now went from 4 years to 2.
Well, at least it's not 6 weeks like abortions.
No, well, okay, I didn't think you'd go there.
Oh,
but
woof.
Yeah, right. but big.
That's a small window, I must
small
say.
window, right? I'm not disagreeing. I'm a 15-week guy. To tell you the truth. But I will tell you this change to the law is massive, and will it result in less lawyer advertising? I hope so.
Oh, yeah, that would be
I
great.
Really do. Plaintiffs' lawyers are saying it's terrible. Anything that takes away a plaintiff's right to go into a courtroom is a terrible thing.
But why would it take 4 years? I mean, something
Right.
happens. You can get your ducks in a row in 2 years.
You would think. And again, going back to the first law, a lot of times associations never in the world thought that they had a chance to file a lawsuit against their insurance company because, probably this damage didn't result from a Category 1 storm.
Right.
And then what do we got? They're being told, yes, it did.
Right.
Yes, it did. So
I can argue that
I
it
know
did.
that's almost 3 years ago, but let's file. Right?
Yeah, right.
So look, we all know that happens. We all know that slip and fall cases that probably are going to be, impossible to prove. You'll still file because the insurance company will settle with you sometimes along the way. So now it's being made more difficult.
How
to
do the lawyers find the people after the fact, like 3 years after the fact, and say your roof was affected by? How does that nexus occur?
A lot of times with commercial advertising.
Oh, okay.
Right? Same exact thing with slip and fall cases.
Okay.
Right? I mean, people are sitting there saying, well, I did slip 3 years ago. I did hurt my wrist at the time. Do I have a case?
Maybe I have a case.
Let me find out.
I see.
So, again, that happened more than 2 years ago. You're gone now. You do not have a case any longer. And I can tell you that there are other condo bills of interest that may pass during this legislative session, and if they do, I'll let you know, especially if it winds up being our education bill. Okay? Boy, would I love to get on the air and tell you that passed, and let's see what happens.
It may.
We don't know.
Barry.
Barry, and we'll talk about that. Hey, so what do our listeners think? Are you in favor of fewer lawsuits? How about less lawyer advertising? Fewer lawsuits against insurance companies, shorter statutes of limitation. Give us a call here in the studio.
Are you in favor of eating food and breathing?
You hate lawyers that much.
No.
After all these years.
you.
Yeah. 877-850-8585, 877-850-85, or ask your question in the chat box on YouTube. We'll be back right after this.
There are very large management companies, and there are very small management companies, and I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are.
Oh no! An unexpected leak. Jay, you know that's no way to solve a roof problem. Call Best Roofing. We solve roof problems.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
There are very large management companies, and there are very small management companies. And I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back of the house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
He's here on 850 WFTL, Karen Curtis with attorney Eric Glazer. He is board certified in community association law. If you have a question about anything in your HOA, condo, or co-op, whether you're on the board, whether you're a resident, maybe you're running for the board, the number is 877-850-8585, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs. Ask a question in the chat box.
All right, so Kathy writes in the chat box and says, since it's Sunday and not many people get the comics anymore, Eric, what is the funniest condo incident you've experienced? Remember the Sunday comics?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Wasn't that fun? Beetle Bailey and Charlie Brown and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Hagar
God,
the
I missed
Horrible.
it.
I knew
Yeah,
Dick Brown. He lived downstairs from us in Sarasota.
Oh, really?
Who wrote Hagar the Horrible?
Well, you kidding?
No.
Don't you miss that?
Yeah.
God, I remember getting the paper in New York on Saturday night.
Yes.
The Sunday's Times on Saturday night. That was the
So
big deal.
funny.
All right, so what's funny? You ready? It happened to me not long ago, maybe a month ago. So I was asked to address a community here in Hollywood, and I get up to address the crowd. I feel honored that they welcomed me, and I start the lecture, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a woman comes up and she wants to talk to me like personally. And I'm like, oh, God, here's the question. Can't she even wait to the end to ask me a question? And I'm like, okay. She says, I have to whisper it.
Oh, my God.
I'm like,
what the heck?
Okay. Whisper it. What do you got to tell me? Your fly is open.
No.
Yes.
My hand to God.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
that might be my funniest and most embarrassing.
I have to whisper it.
And my most embarrassing moment. All right. How about we go to our first call?
I would.
We have Barry in Miami.
Hey, Barry.
There he is.
Barry is the man.
Hi, Eric.
We got the man on the phone.
Hello.
How are you, Barry?
The man's Eric.
No
question.
Well, Barry has the ear of a lot of legislatures, it seems. Let me say this: more than anybody, more than a lot of attorneys. More than anybody I know.
Because
at
he has
the
no
moment.
skin in the game.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. He's just a bright guy telling them how to make their proposed statutes, a little better, more than lobbyists. He got there more than lobbyists, believe it or not. So, hey, Barry, what's going on?
Okay, so the mandatory board education is a done deal. So let's talk about.
Oh man!
Okay.
Oh, he gave it the death knell. See?
Yep.
He
Don't ever say done.
He just gave it the death. It's like when you're watching a horse race, and down the stretch they come, your horse is winning by 10 lengths, and you yell out, "I got it!"
Yeah. Oh,
You're
God.
done. You
Boom.
lost.
It was like FAU
Yeah,
last
yeah,
night.
yeah.
Oh my God, they're gonna win it.
Yeah. That's the death knell. When you say we've got it, it's in the bag. Barry, when it's in the bag, it's in the bag. Remember, I had that statute that I needed a few years ago.
Yes.
That was on the governor's desk about material alterations. I needed it so bad.
Fire in London.
It was attached to the fire bill. Fire in London kills it. So it's done when it's done, my friend. But I know, I'll tell everybody right now how hard you're working for them and how much I appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. What's going on?
Great. Okay, quick question. The provision that bothers me the most in the condo reform bill that's going to pass is a provision that makes no sense.
Okay.
We talked about it last week, but now I want to put numbers to it. In order to waive non-structural integrity reserve study components, you will need a majority of all unit owners.
Right.
And you went over that with your example last week. In a lot of condominiums, these non-SERS components are 2/3 of the amount of total reserves.
Right.
That's the replacement cost.
Yeah.
2/3. And forcing unit owners to get a majority approval, this is my question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Sure. No, it's not going to be easy. Remember, to get reserves, to waive reserves was always a majority of a quorum. So, but I just want again to remind everybody what you're talking about. So, statutory integrity reserve study. When you do that, that's going to be again, the building structure, right? The floor, the foundation, the windows to some extent, the painting. All of that, forget about that. You're not waiving that anymore, ever. You're never going to be able to waive that. But there's
Even with 100% vote.
No, even with 100% vote,
matter.
you're never waiving that, okay? So there's other things that are not included in the structural integrity reserve study. Let's say like the pool, like elevators, the other things, carpeting, whatever it may be. That the legislature is going to let you waive. You put that in another separate reserve study. The legislature will let you reserve that, but instead of making things easier to waive at least that part, right? All right, so at least let us waive that part with a majority of a quorum, right? Please let us do that. No,
Oh,
the
boy.
legislature made it even tough to waive that part. They want a majority of everybody in the building. Now, how hard is it to get a majority of the
Impossible.
people in the building to vote on anything?
Impossible.
Right? You're all going to be executed this Tuesday, right? We need a majority of the people in the building to vote against it. You probably still won't get
To
it.
prevent it.
Right. I'm telling that's how hard it is. So Barry is saying, hey, legislature, come on, give us a break. It's going to be so hard on us. The cost of the structural integrity reserve study money we're going to pay is going to be so astronomical. Come on, at least make it easy for us to waive the other parts. Please, we're going to go broke.
Right.
And they're not listening. Barry, you can't change their ear on that, huh?
Well, the problem is they're focusing on the pool furniture, they're focusing on the carpeting, but these other components are huge components,
Absolutely.
dollar-wise.
Yeah.
You're talking about all the mechanicals.
Yes.
You're talking
All
about
the
the
mechanicals, yeah.
elevators.
Yeah.
You're
Air conditioning.
talking
Air
about
conditioning.
A ton of money.
Yes, you're talking about a lot of things. Even air conditioning goes into that. Wow, it's unbelievable. It really is big.
Right.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, and I guess the thinking is...
They don't look at the numbers.
Yeah, and I guess the thinking is, look, even if we don't fund those, even if we could never fund those, even if you could never pay for them, it doesn't matter because even if we don't fix those things, the building's not going to collapse. Right? If we don't fix the AC, the building's not going to collapse. If we don't fix the pool, the building's not
People
going to
might collapse.
Right. But let us waive those things. And Barry, you can't change their ear, huh?
I can't. The way to
Yeah.
handle it is to say for those things that need replacement or repair, the elevator, the air conditioning, I'm not saying they're not important.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when the time comes, have a special assessment.
Yeah.
Let the unit owners pay for that special assessment over 10 years, but don't put it through reserves. It shouldn't be a reserve
think
issue.
after what happened in Surfside, two words are just pretty scary in the mind of a legislator, and it's waive reserves. They're like, I am not going to be the one ever again that says it's okay to waive reserves of any kind. Period. They're just absolutely freaked out about it. I will not be the man or woman that votes in favor of allowing anybody to waive reserves of any kind. I understand your point completely, Barry. And maybe we can get somebody on the show to discuss it with them and talk about it with them and educate them on it. I'd love to, but listen, all I can tell you is I've learned after 30 years of doing this and been trying and going up to Tallahassee how many times, you don't get everything that you ask for.
Yeah, but
you get one or two things that you ask for, and you come back next year and next year and next year.
That's how it works.
And that's just how it works. That's what I learned.
But if you couldn't waive reserves, how would that have changed Surfside if the Smithsonian's postulation is that it was the design that was the flaw? That has nothing to do with the reserves.
You're right, but it did go bad. But you got to remember, when it went bad, and
they didn't fix it.
And Morabito came in and said, hey, we need to fix this now.
Okay.
And they waited 3 years, and it became a $15 million issue.
Right.
They had $700,000 in the bank.
Whoa.
They were $14.3 million short.
So that's what they were going to fix, was the pool underneath and the parking garage?
Deck,
that's
the pool deck that was leaking into the parking garage.
Then it all fits together.
And beams were missing. I mean, really, I'm not saying it because I'm on there, but if you want to watch just an absolutely incredible documentary in terms of how this all went wrong, this Surfside documentary is on the Smithsonian Channel. It's just amazing. And I understand we have somebody from Surfside on the line. Barry, all I can do is say thank you from the bottom of my heart, buddy. Really.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Great.
Okay, you be well.
Great, bye.
Who do we got?
Let's go to Surfside.
All right. Perfect timing.
Who do we got?
Moshe?
Okay,
Moshe.
Hi, Eric.
Moshe from Surfside?
Hi, Eric.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Let me ask you. I'm the board president, and we're trying to negotiate around the crazy insurance premiums.
Right.
Okay, and one suggestion that a broker had for us was what they are doing in Williams Island is that they're limiting the wind loss only on the wind policy, which is the biggest policy. They're limiting it to $7.5 million on any claim. So that saves them $100,000 in premium,
right?
As opposed to saying, well, the whole building's going to blow down, which is not. Okay, but
yeah,
does that leave us, with any kind of liability if we took a policy like that?
Say it again. What does the policy do? It limits the total amount of your building's claim to $7 million.
Right. After the deductible is met, which is like 3 to 5%.
But I don't understand something. Hold on.
The claim can only be up to $7.5 million.
But hold on. But every building is different.
$20 million.
But every building is different. One building could be 100 units. One building could be 400 units. Are we still at $7 million for both buildings?
Yeah, that's it. If you take a policy like that, you save $100,000.
I can't grasp that thought, quite frankly, because I think every building is different.
And it's a cap. It's like they cap injury insurance at $100,000.
But how could a building that's 100 units, and you say, okay, we're going to cap our policy at $7 million, right? And then a 400 unit building says we're going to cap our policy also at $7 million. How is the 400 unit building really not getting screwed big time?
Yeah, well, like we give
right. So with all due respect to Williams Island, that kind of community, I don't know if I'd play around with some money and just try to save a few bucks to prevent if a Category 5 comes through North Miami Beach, that building could suffer a tremendous amount of damages. And how do I know $7 million is going to be enough to cover it? How do I know that building might not suffer $15, $20 million damage? So now everybody got to come up with millions and millions of dollars
to fix their own building.
To fix their own building when the insurance premium on that would have been only $100,000, you're telling me. So look,
No, 100,000 more.
look,
$500,000 is the premium.
So $500,000 is the premium. Moshe, the bottom line with insurance, and it works the same way with health insurance. You can try to skimp and skim and all of that stuff, and then one day you need it, right? And then it's like your health insurance. Holy crap, I can't stand paying my health insurance anymore. And then one day you find yourself in the hospital or whatever it is, and thank God I have my health insurance, because a week in the hospital is $150,000.
It's unbelievable.
Right? Same thing with property insurance. There's no difference. But again, my problem I see with what you're telling me is, how could you cap your policy at $7 million, no matter what, irregardless of the size of the building? It's a little difficult for me to comprehend. Maybe you could teach me in another time, but it doesn't make sense to me. And respectfully, I don't think it's going to make sense to the mortgage companies that are in that 400-unit building. They're going to say, no, this is not enough. Absolutely not.
Right.
What's the value of the building? When's the last time that you did what's the word I'm looking for?
An assessment?
Last year, the value of the building is $22 million.
$22 million. So why
it's got to be at least 22.
So why
then.
is the building not insured for $22 million? Would the insurance company say? And I think that if not the insurance company, the mortgage company, and if you're not showing that the building is fully insured, guess what? All those people that live there can be in violation of their mortgages, right? And call them.
Oh yeah.
And call them, right? All of a sudden, or forced place. Forced place insurance, is that what you want to happen? Because forced place insurance is really expensive.
Oof.
Crazy. So, Moshe, unless, an insurance expert, educates me on this, I'm going with no, I can't buy it. Okay? But thanks so much for the call.
I appreciate your advice.
Thank you for calling, sir. All right, let's do this. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. Taking your calls, everybody. 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585, or drop us a question in the chat box on YouTube. We will be back right after this.
Is your condominium or HOA in need of accounting services? Look no further. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is one of South Florida's largest accounting and auditing firms, as recognized by the South Florida Business Journal, and is one of the few accounting firms uniquely specialized to provide accounting services to their growing condominium and homeowner association clientele throughout Florida. With primary offices in Aventura and Boca Raton, satellite offices in Naples and Orlando, and a professional staff of 65, Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is prepared to meet the needs of any condominium or HOA in the state. The professionals at Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg also have experience working with timeshares, cooperatives, hotel condominiums, mixed-use buildings, and ancillary operations like restaurants, spas, and country clubs. Put their 25 years experience in your corner. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg, 305-937-0116. That's 305-937-0116 or grgcpa.com.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion. Or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
This message is for anyone who has taken on the important responsibility of becoming an officer or director in a homeowner or condominium association. It is also for the management companies who work closely with these caring people to make sure things are done the right way. Hello, I'm Gil Pomar, South Florida Regional President for Center State Bank, now the second largest bank based in Florida. Our bank, Center State Bank, has an amazing team of professionals who are exclusively dedicated to the homeowner and condo association market. Your job is not easy. There are repairs and new projects that need financing. financing. There are legal and social issues that need to be understood. There are also technology and servicing issues that your residents want to be improved. Why not choose a bank that knows this business backward and forward? Why not have a local banker who will meet with you face to face whenever it is convenient for you or your board? Center State Bank has over 2,000 associations as customers for a reason. Please give us a chance to earn your business. Call Terry Russo at 954-633-1666 to make it happen. Center State Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC.
Is your home or condo looking old, worn out, and in need of a fresh look? Then you need PD Painting to paint your property and make it look like new again. PD Painting will first properly prepare your home and condo and then use only the highest quality paint products. After many years in the painting industry, PD Painting has achieved a reputation for always delivering a reliable and professional finish. PD Painting is fully licensed and insured and offers a 7 to 10 year warranty. Their technicians are expert craftsmen. Let PD Painting handle all the details and then sit back and watch them restore your property and bring back that brand new look and feel. Need a service call? PD Painting will be there on the spot. Need financing? PD Painting can offer that too. Call PD Painting at 888-416-3204. Again, that's 888-416-3204. Go to the website pdpaintinginc.com. Need painting done in your home and community? Contact the experts at PD Painting.
850 WFTL, and we're already well into the second half hour. We are running behind. The number to call is 877-850-8585. Also go to our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs, and you're going to be busy.
Oh, yeah, starting this Tuesday.
Yeah.
This Tuesday. The seminar season is back in full swing. Remember, if you don't get certified within 90 days of getting on the board, you are off the board. Do not sign that stupid, silly, self-serving affidavit. I don't want to hear it. So Tuesday, April 4th at 8:30, we will see you at the in Broward at the Signature Grand. We'll be teaching our board certification course, both for condominium directors and for HOA directors.
Is that one full?
It's filling up fast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's filling up fast.
April 11th, same thing, 8:30 at Palm Beach Convention Center. That's always standing room only.
Yeah, and at the end of the month, that's always. Palm Beach is crazy. And at the end of the month, April 26th in Orlando, at the Orange County Convention Center, 8:30 in the morning.
April 27th at 8:30 a.m. Tampa, the Tampa Bay Convention Center. These are all free, by the way.
I love going to Tampa. Tampa, the people in Tampa treat me, like I said, like a rock star. It is unbelievable to go
Yeah, you
there.
and Tom Brady, he shows up, doesn't he?
I really so enjoy it. And it's an honor to teach in the building where you took the bar exam.
How cool is
yeah,
that?
It's fantastic. Yeah. So, guys, remember, to register for any of these classes, just go to condocrazeandhoas.com. Click on the seminars button. Again, condocrazeandhoas.com. All right, back to the chat board. Let's see. Management changed hands. Marie writes in, management changed hands last year. We find over $150,000 missing or misappropriated. What can be done? Okay, so the first thing you need to do, Marie, is to hire an accounting firm to do a forensic audit as to where this $150,000 went. You know, what makes you think that $150,000 is missing? If it is missing, again, you need to know where it went, right? And hopefully there's enough insurance that if you put in a claim that you get paid, and you're going to have to report. If it was stolen, you're going to need to make a police report, and you're going to need to show exactly how much is missing. You need to prove it up to your insurance company. So don't wait any longer. I'll tell you, I'm not going to say which association, but I got a call the last couple of days that in a very, very, very large community that everybody knows, 20 different directors, not 20, I'll say about 10 different directors of 10 different communities within this large community, right? All the subs, all of a sudden came to each other coincidentally and said, $20,000 missing from you, $20,000 missing from you, $20,000 missing from you. Every one of them believes they're missing $20,000, and that's unbelievable.
That's a coincidence.
That's a coincidence.
So my other question is, the management change. Did you guys fire the management, or how did that happen?
Don't know, but you got to make sure that your accounting firm catches this.
Yes.
And if I want to know why you believe the money's missing.
Yeah, well, is the nexus because the management company changed and suddenly you figured it out, or
Yeah,
they were
right,
covering it
right.
up? Or?
Don't know, but the bottom line is investigate it, and you obviously have
Follow
an
the money.
obligation to investigate it.
Yeah.
Follow the money always. All right, who do we got, VJ?
We have Janet in North Palm.
Hey, Janet.
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay, what's up?
I also do not like personal injury lawyer commercials, but we're having to deal with one right now.
Oh.
Right.
And we have an owner, and he refuses to comply with a short-term lease restriction. He's actually said in an email that our rules are ridiculous, and he would not comply. So we had our attorneys send him a letter. So they obtained a personal injury attorney who wants to go to arbitration and court, even though they are clearly in the wrong. And he does nothing about condo law. You can tell that by his letters. And he wants to constantly remind us that he charges $806 an hour.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
We have nothing to gain since this short-term lease. The tenants will be gone by this is settled, and the owner will have gotten what he wanted. And this will just cost us money that we can't spare. But if we don't continue and enforce the rules, we're guilty of selective enforcement.
Very good.
There's no way that's a win. This is a no-win situation for
Well,
us.
first of all,
these people continue to violate the rules. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, so let me teach you something first of all. When you are trying to remove somebody from the condominium, like these short-term tenants, the arbitrators do not have jurisdiction over the case. Arbitrators cannot remove somebody from a property. So the case would have to go to court. Now, what makes you think that they're going to be leaving when the lease is done? I would say they're not going to leave.
Well, they already have. They did a short-term lease of 3 months, which is not allowed.
Oh, okay.
All this letters and back and forth have been going on, and they've already left as of 2 days
But
ago.
it's like you get it pulled over and the cop says, you're speeding, and you go, that's ridiculous. I am not going to observe your law.
Yeah, right, of course.
I mean, you can't do that.
So you can go to court and attempt to get an injunction, right? A court injunction against them that they're not going to do it again. He's told you that he's going to continue to do it. Now, I would make sure that you're saying this was done by only rule? The board made this rule?
No, it's the bylaws.
It's in the documents.
It's in our documents.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
In our documents.
So if it's in the documents and it was passed, when was this passed? Before or after this person became a unit owner?
Before.
Okay, so he moved in and this was already the law, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like he's got much of a case, right?
He just says it's ridiculous. I'm not going to.
I'm not going to do it.
I know.
Since when is ridiculous a defense? Right.
I'm going to have a sandwich.
Right. So.
But what do we win if we continue?
You win an injunction, and you win your court costs and attorney's fees, and you win a court case that you can tell the rest of the community they better listen to, or it's going to happen to you.
It's pretty cut and dried,
isn't it? That's
it?
what you win.
It's really cut and dried.
Right.
You win,
sometimes,
win, win.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
And when you win, you let the community know that you won. You know, you do a newsletter of some kind, and you say, guys, we didn't want to do this. We really didn't want to sue a fellow unit owner, but, right?
And the headline will be, when is ridiculous
right. And ridiculous was not a defense.
Yeah.
Right?
Ridiculous is not a defense.
And so I think every once in a while, if someone acts like that, nope, got to go right at them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Everything's on your side.
All right. Yeah. So if what you're telling me is right, and it seems like like Karen said, everything's on your side, what are you waiting for? Okay?
Thank you.
You got
See
it.
you on the 5th.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Huh?
What'd she say? Not sure what she said.
She'll see you on the 5th.
Oh, that's great. Looking forward to it. Is
That'll,
it the 5th
the
or
4th.
It's the 4th? The 4th.
Oh my God.
You will not see me on the 5th.
You'll be a day late and a dollar short.
Exactly. Hey, we do have to take our final break of the hour. Again, taking your calls, 877-850-8585, or drop your questions in the chat box on YouTube. We'll be back right after this.
Need an insurance evaluation, audit, or quotation for your condo association or homeowners association? If so, then you need to speak with our insurance experts at Mack & Waltz. We insure over 800 associations, and we are the clear leader in this marketplace. Mack & Waltz has been in business since 1989. We write insurance on billions of dollars of property values. We are an independent insurance agency representing insurance companies which specialize in condo and HOA insurance. The staff at Mac & Waltz works closely with board members and property managers and regularly attends association meetings to help educate the association about their insurance policies. To learn more about how Mac & Waltz can save you money and improve your insurance program, call now 954-640-6225 and ask for Greg Waltz. 954-640-6225. Mac & Waltz Insurance Group. Let us protect your association.
Are the roads, parking lots, and walkways in your community association in need of repair? DMI Paving and Seal Coating can help. DMI Paving and Seal Coating is the largest seal coating company in the United States, an industry leader for over 57 years in asphalt restoration, asphalt paving, parking lot striping and maintenance, concrete, sidewalks, curbing, or ADA parking lot compliance. Let DMI Paving and Seal Coating pave the way and make your community look great. At DMI Paving and Seal Coating, they believe in well-trained personnel, top quality equipment and materials, and friendly customer service. Customers include office building complexes, educational facilities, hospitals, hotel chains, apartment complexes, condominium and hotel associations, and the largest mall and big box retail companies in the country. DMI Paving and Seal Coating is a LEED accredited Green Advantage certified environmentally responsible full service asphalt paving contractor and seal coating expert. DMI Paving and Seal Coating serves the entire state of Florida and most of the southeastern United States. Call today for a free estimate. 800-432-1191. That's 800-432-1191. Or visit DMIPavingandSealCoating.com.
Never wait for that first drop of water to leak from your ceiling before you decide to check your roof. Once damage sets in, repairs become more expensive. Invest in a true life cycle roof management program with Best Roofing and protect your building's assets. A roof management service agreement with Best Roofing will prolong the life of your roof, preventing premature roof failure. Let Best Roofing help your association save money with our annual service agreements that prevent leaks, provide emergency service, and increase the life expectancy of your roof. We give you a realistic budget, so there are no unwelcome surprises. Our roof service agreements also provide for cleaning all debris, minor maintenance, sealing and topping off all pitch pans, caulking, and more. And should a storm hit or other emergency occur, clients with service agreements get priority service. To schedule your free condo roof analysis, call Best Roofing at 954-941-9111. That's 954-941-9111. Visit our website at bestroofing.net.
Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on 850 WFTL. Karen Curtis with attorney Eric Glazer, and he is about to put the link to the Smithsonian show up in the chat box at our Condo Craze and HOAs YouTube channel so you all can see him on television.
I am trying to do it. I ain't that
he's
smart.
a
That's the
yes, you
problem.
are, multimedia guy.
Right.
Or the number to call, 877-850-8585. Just have about 10 minutes left of the show, so don't wait to the very end to call VJ, 877-850-8585.
Exactly. Who do we got, VJ?
We have Warren in Coconut Creek.
Hey, Warren.
Hi,
Brandon.
Hi,
Brandon
Eric.
said he's going to post it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brandon said he's going to post the link to the show on the
chat box.
On the chat box, and so if I'm telling you, go watch it. It's really very impressive. I'm sorry, Warren.
Go ahead. Okay. Does reading a legal opinion about a problematic resident who stated his intentions to sue qualify for a closed legal meeting?
Does reading an opinion, so the condo association went to court with someone that lives there?
And no, it's a HOA.
HOA, okay. And the attorney says, hey, the person has no case or a good case, and I want to meet with the board about it, and I'm going to read this legal opinion. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say that is absolutely perfect for a closed-door meeting, because you're warning the board, right, one way or another. Here's a legal opinion, right? Here's precedent on this matter, right? Here's how it's going to go down if we went to court. So I'm going to advise you to go one way or the other. So sure, absolutely, that would be kind of like the very definition, the very need for a closed-door opinion. Absolutely, Warren.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great holiday, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. That's
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't meet in the pool with the.
So I don't forget a happy and a healthy Passover
Yes.
this week to everybody who's celebrating. Thank you, Warren. Much appreciate that.
10 Commandments were on last night on ABC.
Oh, it was?
On ABC, and I'm thinking, well, this nation has become just so lawless, and, you know, we don't have any values and no religion. It's on ABC.
I don't even think two are listened to anymore. It's pathetic, right?
I couldn't believe it.
It really is. It really
Moses.
is. Who else do we got?
We have Paul in
Hey,
Jensen
Paul.
Beach.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
Hi, Eric. You're good. Yourself?
Pretty good. How can we
I
help?
live in a condo. We pay our condo fees every month. Is it the management required to send out a statement every month for those fees?
No, absolutely not. Great question. A lot of people who wind up in foreclosure, their defense, they think it's a defense to say, but I never got a bill. Right?
Ridiculous,
Right? But
and I never got a bill or not a
well,
defense.
That's not how it works. You have the obligation of making sure that your account is current. Okay? Your association may send out coupon books at the beginning of the year. Obviously, they have to advise you how to pay it and how much to pay. But
a lot of times you can just put it as auto pay on their
auto-pay,
website.
right?
Yeah.
But it's never okay.
Yeah.
It's never okay to, as a defense to say,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
I didn't get
They
a bill.
Send it out every. Yeah, they send it out every quarter because of the water bill.
Right.
If I request that they send a statement and they refuse, that doesn't cut it.
No, it does not. Now, what the new law requires is if they go from one method of collection to another, then they have to let you know. Okay? In other words, you know, from direct deposit or to drop it off in the office or whatever it may be, if the method of collection changes, according to the statute, if the method of collection changes, yes, then they need to let you know in writing. Okay?
Very good. I thank you very much.
You got it.
Like your show.
Thank you so much. Okay, the link to the Smithsonian Surfside Condo collapse was just put up by Brandon. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
I'm telling you, go watch this. It's pretty wild. Someone just asked a question. I just saw it. Now, suppose during that meeting, the attorney wasn't there and just the board was discussing that case. Is it a closed-door meeting?
Good one.
Still? No, it's not. What makes it a closed-door meeting is the attendance of counsel.
But what if they're reading the counsel's letter?
Still no.
Okay.
The attorney has to be there. Attorney can be there by phone, by Zoom link, in person.
All right.
But if the attorney is not there, no. And that's a great question, Karen. No, and I think the attorney has to be there.
All right.
And that's what makes it an attorney-client privileged meeting.
Because you can't act as an attorney. You're just reading what
You're
he's...
just reading. Correct. That's exactly
and
right.
then maybe he says this lawsuit, you know, stinks to high heaven and won't work, and that's okay.
Who else do we got, VJ?
We are out of calls.
You're out. Okay, let's see who we got.
What's this one?
Who do we got? Gigi, hi, Eric. Did House Bill 919 get passed? Thought I saw something about this issue on the web. No, let me say this. If House Bill 919 is the one where there's supposed to be like a Bill of Rights for unit owners, and I think that's the one for homeowners, no, that did not pass yet. There's no bill, no condo bill, no HOA bill that passed, and don't know what's going to pass.
Yeah,
you know?
they're busy with abortion.
Yeah, I mean,
gun carry without a license.
Exactly. I'm pretty wild.
Yeah.
You can now, you know, I always had a carry permit for the last 25, 30 years, and now you don't need a carry permit anymore. It's
you know,
pretty
it was
amazing.
funny. Some of the lawmakers were like, "Well, you need to teach them how to use it." I understand when you get your permit, they have you shoot one bullet.
It's a joke.
Here,
one bullet.
Pull
It's
one,
a joke.
and
You have
now
to-
they are
right,
good to go.
Right. You have to be able to say that you shot one bullet. I'm telling you guys, it's a joke.
So that was like a silly argument.
Hey, thank you to Jerry Honickel and Stephen Fieldman, by the way, for both saying, "Great show."
Oh, thank you.
Stephen, if I have to tell you, Stephen is a brilliant guy, a professor emeritus in China.
No.
Yes.
So he speaks Mandarin.
Stephen is a client of mine who's promising me. I'm going to hold him to this. Now's not the right time, but Stephen is promising me to take me to China one day.
I wouldn't go to China or
Not
Russia.
now,
No.
but I will tell you Steve has access to things that the average person does not have
What, like
access
the wall?
to.
The wall?
No, all
Oh.
kinds of things. Steven is the man. And boy, would I like to go with him one day. It would be an honor. He's an attorney as well. Steve, write it in the chat box. Are you taking me one day, buddy? I am looking forward to it one day.
Oh, my
That
God.
is on my bucket list to go with him. You have no idea. Because I don't think my family wants to go. They're scared
He's
to
going
death.
to take you to Wuhan, right?
No, we're not going there.
Oh, come on.
But let me tell you, the average American
The
thinks,
Wuhan Marriott.
China is just this, it's not modern. You ever see what Shanghai looks like?
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
Shanghai, they built the cars drive on one level, the people walk on another level.
It's completely opposite of what's happening in China. They
incredible.
walk on the wall in China.
I'm not talking
The
about
Great
that.
Wall.
but you have to see. You think they don't have modern cities? Wrong. They do. They do. Ryan writes in, 919 was voted on. There was a PCS amendment on March 28th. Yes, but nothing was passed yet.
Okay.
Nothing was passed yet. Stephen again writes in, your discussion of your trips to the legislature reminds me of the definition of a diplomat. Steve writes in, yes, we're going.
Oh, goody.
I can't wait. I'm holding him to that, believe me. It's an amazing thing, honestly. It's an amazing thing when you go to the legislature and you want something passed, because the truth of the matter is, if you're not a lobbyist, right, you're not getting in anybody's door. You're not having meetings with any legislator. And it's next to impossible for the little guy to go up there and walk office to office and think that he's going to meet with legislators and get his bill passed. No, you're not. Not going to happen. You got to go up there with someone who knows all the legislators already, someone who's connected, and someone who's paid a lot of money. That's the reality. That's the reality. Steve writes in, thank you for your kind words. Yes, I'll take you. Ryan writes in, it did pass the initial vote by the Regulatory Reform and Economic Development Subcommittee. We're now moving to the Commerce Committee. So just really quick to tell everybody how these laws get passed. A bill is filed, right? And then the bill gets assigned to various committees, right? So it has to pass. Let's say there's 20 members of each committee, right?
30 seconds.
It's got to pass 9 in each committee. If it doesn't, that bill is dead. Okay? All right, so that's how it gets passed, and then it's signed by the governor. That's passed in both houses, obviously.
Right.
30 seconds, we're just wishing my ear. Again, happy and healthy Passover to everybody that is celebrating this week. And we will, if you need, by the way, if you need legal help off the air, just call Glazer and Sachs, 954-983-1112. Again, 954-983-1112. And have a happy and healthy week, and we'll speak to you again next Sunday at 11 a.m. on Condo, Craze, and HOAs. Everybody be well.